Watches have a fascinating culture with centuries-long histories, fascinating people producing and wearing them, and expensive luxury brands. But this culture did not begin today. They have an exciting history, and the first watch was a piece of stone. Ancient Egyptians carved a large obelisk stone and estimated time from the direction and length of its shadow as the sun moved. Significant advances have changed how watches work and their size too, but the culture around them is still the same. Watch lovers and collectors are willing to spend enormous amounts to acquire these time-telling machines. Spending millions of dollars on a watch in an era where people use their phones to check the time seems absurd. But watches do more than tell the time to some. They are jewelry, while to others they are pieces of art that people wear on their wrists. Watch lovers know that you don't have to spend much to get a classy watch, but celebrities, collectors, and the rich buy expensive watches to show their wealth. Some of these costly watches are sought after not because of their looks, but because of their histories. Today's video will show you the top 5 most expensive watches. But first, like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's dive in and explore these watches. Number 5. Patek Philippe Perpetual Calendar Chronograph. Patek Philippe is among the most exclusive and sought-after watchmakers on Earth. The Perpetual Calendar Chronograph was made in 1948 and currently costs $9,570,900 Prince Tewfik Adel Tusen of Egypt formerly owned the watch. It is well preserved and was the first serially produced perpetual calendar chronograph built globally. It features a rare and desirable pink-gold-and-pink dial combination. Only 281 watches of this model were made, but the design inspired subsequent perpetual calendar chronographs. The watch was the first of its kind. It attracted the attention of privileged individuals, including the King of Jordan, King Farouk of Egypt, King Henry Graves Jr., perhaps the greatest watch collector in the 20th century. About half of these watches were brought by Americans during the brief production period. The buyers were wealthy and influential people who wanted to get the finest watch they could buy. This model, Ref 1518, was initially a design that set the template for its descendants. It has a basic layout, a moon phase at 6, a purchase at 12, and 2 subsidiary dials at 3 and 9. The watch has a beautifully raised enamel dial tachymeter, an attractive mid-century aesthetic, and square push buttons, making it a timepiece choice for expert collections. Number 4. Patek Philippe Stainless Steel. The number 4 on our list is another Patek Philippe 1518 model, but this time stainless steel on a matching Milanese bracelet. The Patek Philippe stainless steel is surprisingly more expensive than the pink gold at $11,137,000. Stainless steel Pateks are highly sought after and more popular from those made from other precious metals like gold and platinum. Only around 20 to 30% of Patek's watches are stainless steel, and the demand outstrips supply by far, causing their prices to hike. This watch was sold in an auction to Philippe Skevener, where 7 bidders participated. There are only 4 of these watches with the public. Alfredo Paramico, a mega watch collector turned dealer, and Mr. David Paramagani, one of the world's most known vintage watch dealers, owned a Patek Philippe stainless steel. The watch was introduced in 1941 and is 35mm in diameter. The watch has a manual wound and a Valjoie-Bachi, modified and expertly finished by Patek, powers it. All the beautiful work that went into this watch was done by hand by skilled craftsmen. Out of the roughly 281,000 models made, most were yellow gold, approximately 20% were rose gold, and only 4 were stainless steel. Number 3. Rolex Cosmograph Paul Newman Daytona. Rolex is among the world's biggest brands and perhaps the most valuable, and people perceive it as a brand of success, luxury, and exclusivity. The Rolex Cosmograph Daytona is one of the most famous and exclusive Rolex of all time and is worth $17,753,000. Paul Newman, an American actor, popularized this 1968 Rolex. Phillips Auction House in New York sold the watch after 12 minutes of bidding. More than 400 people gathered for the winning icon's auction. The Cosmograph Daytona was introduced in 1963 and designed to meet the needs of professional racing drivers. The iconic watch is equipped with caliber 4130, a mechanical self-winding chronograph movement developed and built by Rolex. Its design has fewer parts than a standard chronograph, enhancing its reliability. It saves space and houses a large mainspring that delivers a 72 hours power reserve. The Paul Newman Daytona is intricately linked to motorsport racing. The watch allows drivers to read average speeds and measure elapsed time on its trademark tachymetric bezel. It pays tribute to Daytona, Florida, where passion for racing and speed developed at the start of the 20th century. The historical and privileged bond between motorsport and Rolex is embodied in the name. Number 2. Patek Philippe Henry Graves Super Complication. This is an absolute behemoth and the only pocket watch in the top 5 most expensive watches. This 1932 Patek Philippe is worth $23,983,000 US. This watch was explicitly made for Henry Graves Jr., a renowned American banker, and has been the world's most complicated watch for a long time. It has an enormous 24 different functions, including a perpetual calendar, Westminster chimes, and sunrise and sunset times. An impressive feature in the watch is a celestial map of New York as viewed from Graves' apartment in 854 Fifth Avenue. Henry Graves Jr. commissioned the 18-karat gold watch out of his desire to surpass American automaker James Ward Packard's Grande Complication pocket watch. The two were top watch collectors and regularly commissioned new initiative timepieces. After Graves Jr. died in 1953, Gwendolyn, his daughter, inherited the watch. The watch was sold to Seth G. Atwood, Time Museum's founder. It was displayed at the museum in Illinois until it closed in March 1999. The watch was sold at a December 1999 auction for $11 million US. The new owner was a member of the Qatari royal family, Prince Sheikh Saud, who died in November 2014. The watch was auctioned again in Geneva, Switzerland, and the final bid by Oral Backs reached approximately $23.9 million US. Number 1. Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime, the only one. The Grandmaster Chime costs a whopping $31 million US and is currently the most expensive watch globally. This 2019 model is the most complicated watch by Patek, with 20 complications, including 5 chiming modes. It is the only stainless steel model, hence the name The Only One, which even appears on the dial. Patek created the only one specifically for a biennial charity watch auction, supporting Duchenne muscular dystrophy research. Top watchmakers produce unique, exotic, and usually one-off watches for the auction to raise the most money. The Grandmaster Chime was Patek's entry in 2019. This watch measures approximately 16mm in height and 48mm in diameter. The strap's bent around the wrist nicely too. But one of its key features is the reversible case, which positions the spring bars further from the case, allowing the straps to contact the wrist perfectly. The stainless steel reversible case protects the watch against dust and humidity. Patek claims that the watch's development took over 100,000 man-hours. One side has a beautiful salmon dial and features a rose gold time-side dial and gold-applied Breguet numerals. The dial plates are 18-karat solid gold, while the calendar side is black ebony. The straps are made of shiny black alligator leather. Which is your favorite top 5 most expensive watch in the world? Leave your views below and subscribe for more videos.